The Uprising during the Three Kingdoms era. In many versions of the Three Kingdoms story, the Yellow Turban Rebellion is often labeled as a group of bandits. However, if we look deeper, they were not merely bandits but rather a movement aimed at saving the nation during a time of chaos. But since this movement was defeated, they were branded as rebels, as was customary in ancient Chinese politics to demean the defeated. Thus, the Yellow Turban Rebellion was derogatorily called a group of bandits. The story begins in Gilgan City, located south of the capital during the reign of Emperor Ling. A man named Zhang Ju, a practitioner of traditional medicine, was known for his moral integrity and kindness. He often helped the local people, earning their respect and admiration. One day, while searching for medicinal herbs in the mountains, he met an elderly man whose face was youthful, with yellow eyes and a walking stick in hand. This man led Zhang Ju into a cave and gave him 3 books titled Tai Ping Yao Shu, saying that these books would help bring peace and prosperity to the people. The elder warned that if Zhang Ju ever used them for evil, disaster would follow. After receiving the books, Zhang Ju asked the elder's name, but he simply said he was a deity and then vanished. Zhang Ju studied the 3 books, which contained teachings on controlling the wind and rain, creating talismans to animate objects, and curing diseases. He used this knowledge to treat the poor, who could not afford medical care, earning him even more respect among the people of Gilgan City. Later, when an epidemic struck the city, Zhang Ju used talismans to cure the disease, saving countless lives. His reputation grew, and more people came to seek his help. During this time, corrupt officials and local mafias exploited the people, causing widespread suffering. As a result, more people turned to Zhang Ju for protection. His followers, who were taught to help others, formed self-defense groups to protect the people from criminals and to fight against the oppressive officials. This movement resonated with the people, leading to its rapid growth across 8 cities: Gilgan, Chengzhou, Yozhou, Shuzhou, Jingzhou, Yangzhou, Kunzhou, and Yizhou. The people of these cities revered Zhang Ju, writing his name on household altars. The local leaders saw some benefit in the movement as it opposed the corrupt eunuchs tax collectors, so they turned a blind eye, allowing the movement to grow stronger. As the movement expanded, Zhang Ju organized it into a more structured force, appointing trusted disciples as leaders of various branches. Each branch had its own military force, with large branches having over 10,000 soldiers and smaller ones around 6,000 to 7,000. The movement began to resemble an army, complete with battle flags. As more people joined, Zhang Ju's followers urged him to lead a full-scale rebellion to restore the nation. Though hesitant at first, Zhang Ju was eventually swayed by the suffering he witnessed daily, as well as the encouragement from his disciples. He agreed to the plan, declaring himself a noble leader and transforming the self-defense groups into a national uprising. Zhang Ju spread the message across the 8 cities, proclaiming that a new era was coming, where a virtuous ruler would bring peace to the land. He encouraged the people to write the phrase, "In the year of the rat, the land will be at peace on their homes." However, Zhang Ju forgot the elders' warning that disaster would follow if he acted against the heavens, as he believed wholeheartedly that his actions were for the greater good of the nation. Zhang Ju then began coordinating with insiders in the capital to prepare for a major uprising. He sent a follower named Ma Yuani to bribe one of the 10 attendants, a eunuch named Hansi, to act as an informant. Zhang Ju's brothers, Zhang Ba and Zhang Liang, were appointed as deputy leaders of the movement. He instructed them to prioritize the people's needs and prepare for the uprising. However, Ma Yuani betrayed Zhang Ju, delivering a secret letter to the emperor instead of Hansi. The emperor then ordered He Jin, the commander of the imperial guards, to capture Ma Yuani and execute him. Hansi, though a traitor, was only imprisoned, as the 10 attendants intervened to protect their own. After eliminating the traitor, the emperor issued an order to all provinces, offering rewards for capturing the Yellow Turbans, who were now branded as bandits. The emperor appointed Lu Zi as the general, with He Jin and Huan Fusan as his deputies, to lead the imperial army in 3 separate campaigns against the rebels. Upon learning of the betrayal, Zhang Ju declared the uprising publicly, appointing himself as the Grand Heavenly General, Zhang Ba as the Earthly General, and Zhang Liang as the Human General. They untied their top knots, let their hair down, and wrapped yellow cloths around their heads as symbols of their cause. Zhang gathered his forces, a massive army of 500,000, and prepared to march on the capital. The ensuing battle between the imperial army, led by General Lu Zi, and Zhang's massive force marked the beginning of the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Despite being labeled as bandits, the Yellow Turbans were, in reality, a significant force fighting against the corruption and oppression of their time. The name bandits was more of a political label than a reflection of the truth, as the movement sought to restore justice and peace in a troubled land. In the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Zhang, known as Tao Kok Gintai, appears as a character in this historical novel. He is first mentioned in Chapter 1, similar to the first chapter of the Thai translation by Chow Freya for Klang Han. The story goes like this. In the city of Julu, there were three brothers, Zhang, Zhang Bao, and Zhang Liang. One day, while Zhang was searching for herbs on a mountain, he encountered an old man with a childlike face, yellow eyes, and a walking stick. This old man led Zhang into a cave and gave him 3 books called the Way of Peace. The old man told him, "Use these books to help bring peace and happiness to the people. But if you harbor any evil intentions or betray the country, danger will come upon you." After Zhang bowed and asked for the old man's name, the old man revealed, "I am an immortal," before vanishing into thin air. Upon returning home, Zhang diligently studied the books day and night, eventually mastering the ability to control the weather. He then declared himself as a Taoist master and began the Yellow Turban Rebellion with his brothers. In the novel, Zhang is mentioned only a few more times. His death is briefly noted in Chapter 2 corresponding to the first chapter of the Thai translation, where it is said, "Now, Wanfusan's army went to fight Zhang, but Zhang had already died." In the novel, Zhang Bao, Zhang's brother, did not die in battle against the imperial army, but was assassinated by his own subordinate, Yan Zheng, who then defected to the imperial forces. The Yellow Turban Rebellion was a major peasant uprising led by Zhang, who was the leader of the Taiping Taoist movement. Also known as the Way of Peace, Zhang managed to gather a large following, with his brothers Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang as senior leaders. The Yellow Turban rebels worshipped Huan Lao Huandi, the Yellow Emperor, a legendary founding figure in Chinese culture, and Lazi, the sage and founder of Taoism. They believed in magic, superstitions, and used various talismans. This rebellion arose in response to devastating floods and plagues that had killed many people, especially in the regions of Shandong and Hunan. Zhang used his knowledge to heal the sick without charging money, while also spreading his teachings. As a result, he gained many followers who believed in him more and more. Eventually, his disciples spread his beliefs across many areas, including Hebei, Shandong, Jiangsu, and Anhui, organizing into over 30 groups with a total of 360,000 members. Their rallying cry was, "The azure sky representing the Eastern Han Dynasty is dead. The yellow sky, the revolutionary army rises." This year 180 for AD will see the land prosper. They plan to overthrow the Han Dynasty on the 5th day of the 3rd month in 180 for AD, but their plan was discovered before they could act. However, Zhang did not abandon his plan. His followers, who wore yellow turbans, rose up in armed rebellion, seizing cities in the Yellow River and Yangtze River plains. In response, the imperial court appointed He Jin, the brother of Empress He, as the Grand General. In just 9 months from February to November 180 for AD, the government's military forces were able to suppress the Yellow Turban Rebellion. The 3 leaders, Zhang, Zhang Bao, and Zhang Liang, all died within a short time. Zhang died of illness in August, while Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang were killed in battle. However, the Yellow Turban rebels were not completely defeated. The fighting continued in various forms until 192 AD in Shandong. Another peasant uprising emerged, with about 300,000 people rising up. In the southwest, in Sichuan, a sect similar to the Taiping Taoist movement, called the 5 Pecks of Rice sect, used the people's hardship to incite them to take up arms against the government. This sect was named because they distributed 5 pecks of rice to each of their followers. The movement was led by Zhang Daoling. Though the peasant uprisings in the north and east were eventually suppressed, it took 20 years for the farmers to fully return to their lands. Moreover, the memory of the Yellow Turban Rebellion lived on among the peasants and rural communities for centuries. It became a symbol of mass movements that shook the empire and contributed to the fragmentation of the Han Dynasty, leading to the period of the Three Kingdoms, which lasted for several hundred years. Among the many peasant rebellions in Chinese history, the Yellow Turban Rebellion had the potential to achieve much more, especially when considering the sheer size of their forces. The Yellow Turban Army had hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and their rebellion spread quickly across 8 of the 13 provinces of China. With such a large and rapidly growing force, they could have easily overthrown the Han dynasty. The problem, however, was that Zhang Jia and his two brothers were somewhat eccentric. They lacked good management skills and failed to coordinate or support each other effectively. As a result, their movement burned out quickly. It flared up fast but died out just as quickly. Zhang Jia serves as a good example of many later anti-government movements in Chinese history. His rebellion grew rapidly, but ultimately collapsed under its own weight because it expanded too quickly without a solid foundation.